Let me tell you something about power. People think power is intelligence or money or whatever shiny new miracle the world worships this month. No, power is debt. The moment you owe, you are being owned. Right now, people are acting like AI is some kind of a salvation in a box. Just build bigger, think bigger, grow bigger and faster. They don't see the weights racking up on their backs. They don't feel the floorboards cracking. You know what happens when a system grows faster than its foundations? It collapses. Not with a big bang, but with a quiet little snap. One loan unpaid, one bank exposed, and one domino too many. And when that happens, the people who think they are in control, the CEOs, lenders, and the governments, they look around and see that the whole time they were standing on the credits, not ground. I've seen men ruin their lives because they believed in hype and not math. This is the same story, just bigger. And when it breaks, everybody pays. Have you ever seen a storm coming so slow that people start pretending it's sunshine? That is the AI boom. A gold rush powered by GPUs, data centers, and a strong collective belief that this time the tech would pay for itself. The giants, the so-called Magnificent Seven, they're spending ungodly amounts of money in AI. But here's the twist. They are spending their own cash. From cash reserves, short-term investments, and free cash flow. And if their projects flop, of course it stings, but their balance sheets don't implode. They walk away with a bruised ego, but not a gravestone. But for the rest of the market, the story is completely different. Companies outside the top tier, the enterprises, the club hopefuls, the AI wannabes, they did not use cash. They used debt. Private equity debts, bank loans, commercial bonds, venture fund debt. Debt that actually needs a payment whether AI delivers or not. And when AI fails to deliver the margin boost or the revenue boost, or when the customers chill for a moment, the debt becomes a guillotine. Oracle, Meta, even these big names have leaned on debt for financing their AI infrastructure and spending. These names can take a hit because they have a stronger balance sheet, but the small players, they're not so lucky. When the liquidity dries up and when refinancing gets really tricky, the bankruptcies will start to follow. When bankruptcies rise, the default rises, and when defaults rises, the banks will start to bleed. When banks bleed, the customers will start to take the deposit of the bank, and then the digital bank run continues. And you know the drill. The government steps in, there is bailouts, and often, all the times, almost with certainty, it's the common man who ends up at the last part with the pain. So, if you are an investor in this world, this AI-fueled powder keg, how do you play it? You don't chase hype. You don't follow the loudest press releases. You study the balance sheet like your life depends on it, because it does. You want the companies that will survive the AI winter without begging a bank for an oxygen. Strong cash positions, low leverage, predictable cash flows, and no exposure to fragile lenders or customers skating on thin ice. You prioritize business that fund innovation with internally generated cash and not borrowed money. Because when the music stops, and it will stop, companies that have to pay debt on failed AI projects will get wiped off from the map. And there is a second layer. Avoid businesses that depend on shaky banks and banks that depend on shaky customers. If their revenue relies on a failed AI customer, it's not a business model, it's a loaded dice. In a bubble, survival is the alpha. It's not the company that creates the flashiest AI model that will win the AI battle. It's the company that stays solvent, stays liquid, and stays boring. If the AI bubble bursts, the world won't stop, but the badly run companies will. And some banks will. So invest in balance sheets and not fantasies. Because in the end, the only thing that doesn't lie in this game is math.